Selangor, you're just screwed up. Good morning, I'm Aziff Azuddin, you're watching Morning Headlines, and it's the 27th of August. Now, just to get a different feel of our normal tirade of looking through headlines, let's look at the connotations used by the newspapers. Tambah, go, defiant, confused, defiance, tangguh, kekal, and my favorite one from Berita Harian, ingkar. So obviously, most of the media has offered kind of like a negative perception towards the Selangor MS Crisis. By now, we're probably all sick of it. Let me just give you a brief breakdown of what happened yesterday. So basically, Khalid wants to resign, but the Sultan says he shouldn't, not yet until he gives out a list of names to the Sultan. Now, of course, under this decree, each party in the Pakatan coalition has to submit at least 2 names for consideration. But what's interesting is that DAP and PKR have come up and stood by only one Azizah, while PAS is deciding to, of course, offer more than 2 names. Again, PAS is stepping out of line, but then again, by now, you would expect that to be normal. But the question here is, does this set up the palace to be accused for being politically unneutral, or, playing kingmaker in this sense? Whatever the case is, all we can do is wait for the names. And in case any of you are still interested in what goes on in Selangor, by now, I'm not sure if you still are, NST has a nice infographic showing the chronological events leading up to the MB crisis. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but you can tell that it's a very slow news day or wet news day, depending on how you look at it, if the Star can run a story with the headline, City Folk are singing in the rain. How is that newsworthy? Now, into other news, Malay Mail carries quite an interesting set of stories if you flip on the inside pages. So we have on page 12 and 14 is a story about Khalid Samad, the PAS MP in Shah Alam, and of course the story of the Christian Indonesian woman who just got acquitted from khalwat. Now, talking about Khalid Samad being charged with sedition, right? I mean, this makes for an interesting case study in a sense where if you looked over the past many years, what's been appearing on our headlines are basically Pakatan Raya MPs being charged with sedition. I mean, we have a list. We have Teresa Kok, we have Rafizi Ramli, we have Raya, we have Tin Shua, we have and Surendran very recently as well. But the biggest question here is that, fine, the Pakatan MPs have definitely said things which were damaging, which you could consider seditious, but what about the other side of the political divide? What about people from the Barisan side or those like Perkasa? What happened to them? I mean, are you going to let them off the hook? I mean, it's no secret that our Home Minister Zahid Hamidi is well known for making racially charged comments. I mean, what about him? So here's the thing, if you're going to bring down the law onto people who are saying seditious things, at least be fair to both sides of the political divide. Okay, and I have a bone to pick with Utusan and Harian Metro, which is not surprising really. Now, this has probably gone under the news radar for most of us who are focused on what's happening in Selangor, but recently in Johor, there's a riot which was incited by immigrant workers. Now, headlines which ran across Utusan says this: bakar kereta, rosakkan kilang. Whereas if you look at Harian Metro, what's interesting on their front page, at least a very small picture here, is warga asing merusuh. Now, I might start thinking, are the migrants starting to fight back, and why? But here's the case, the employers have made them play volleyball with stones and beat them up with sticks for those who refuse to participate in the game, right? This game was stick and stones. But here's the thing, you would expect them, of course, to fight back, of course, to be angry. The thing is, we have a history of treating our migrant workers very badly, and when they fight back, is that really unexpected? And yet, our national papers across the board are trying to stir up nationalistic sentiments, forgetting the fact that we're treating another human being very badly. Are they subclass citizens just because they're migrant workers, just because they came from another land? And think about it this way, when our New Zealand diplomatic officer was charged with allegedly raping and assaulting a woman, I mean, we threw up storms. I mean, we were angry. So why the double standard? I mean, I get it that the news is not supposed to be happy, but come on. On a final note, literally, and of course, talked about this yesterday, but I thought I should bring it up anyway. Sinar Harian runs a 2-page piece on people saying that Mas should tone down on the alcohol and should don the hijab. But here's my take on it, right? Is taking off alcohol from the list and also making them wear the hijab going to save them any further? If you look at it religiously, maybe, but if you look at it from a very technical viewpoint, that's not going to save them. What they need is a restructuring in management. What they need is money in the right places and adjustments. I mean, listen to what the mass unions have to say. And my word of the day today is stumped. What's happening in Selangor? It's a mess. What's happening to how we're treating immigrants? It's a mess. I'm stumped. Are you? Pretty sure you are at this point. I'm sick. So guys, maybe we should just close our eyes to the Selangor chapter and just hope it passes away like a bad dream. And that's all I have for you for this morning headlines. I'm Aziff Azuddin for BFM 89.9.